Good morning, students. As we have completed the poem On Children by Khalil Gibran, so today we are going to begin our discussion a new poem, Romeo and Juliet, today. So before we move on to this unit, we need to work on the total syllabus that is prescribed for this academic year, especially because you know that we have lost so many months together, so many months during this year, this academic year, due to the COVID-19, as you all know better. So we feel, and also you feel, a lack of time in preparing for the whole syllabus as such. But the board has came up with an idea of reducing the burden of syllabus in this academic year by removing or deleting or taken out 4 units from our syllabus this year. That is, originally we had 14 units for second PU. That is, see, there are 5 lessons, okay, then 5 poems, then 1 play, then 1 interview, then 1 interview, there's Boris, and 1 travelogue, Yes, sir. We had Romeo and Juliet, On Children, When You Are Old, To the Food from Its Child, 6 poems totally. We had 6 poems. Then see what happens, 5 lessons, so 11, 12, 13, 14, these were the things. But now the board, PU board, has deducted 4 lessons out of these things. What are they? See, they are, we don't have a poem of Pablo Neruda, that is To the Fruit from Its Child. Okay, To the Fruit from Its Child, 1 poem is taken out of our syllabus this academic year, and everything I learned, I need to know, I learned in the forest. Important and complex essay of Vandana Shiva was not there for us this year, and I believe that books will never disappear, the interview, so it's also not there in our syllabus this year. And one more thing, the longest poem that we call in this whole syllabus is Water by Sarvapalli Swaruparani. Okay, so that's what we don't have this poem. So out of 14, so we have 10 units, and we don't know till today how the paper is going to be, modified to make a 100-mark question paper here, because so there are 4 10-mark questions are there. 10 4-mark questions, 1 6-mark questions. So I don't know on what basis they are going to make, but meanwhile, as we progress, okay, so we are going to get a solution for this a problem by the board, PU board itself. Okay, we will be discussing, and it's going to arrange some workshops on that, so you need not worry about it. Okay, coming to see, as we had the pattern of the question paper in the previous year, that is first year PU, so in the same way the course book syllabus has the pattern here, like first main, it will be question number 1 to 12, so 1 mark questions, 12 marks. 1 mark questions. Okay, then second main, that is 13 to 22, 4 mark questions, long type of answers. Okay, questions. Then the last from course book, third main, that is question number 23. Choices will be there, 3 questions will be there. Okay, so 6 mark question, that is 1 you have to attend. Okay, this is what, this remains same even for second PUs. Okay, totally see 12, 32 plus 6. Yes? Estaito? So 50 mark. So 50 mark from course book is divided or allotted to our course book syllabus. That's what we read here. Is the lessons, poems, plays, whatever in the course book. Okay, now see here, this year we have 4 poems, 5 lessons. Yes, 4 poems, 5 lessons, then you have 1 play. For which one? Academic year 2021. The older one, previous one. Now we have this much, 10 units. Play is there, of course, Asani Mani. Okay. Then so we have to work on these units for 50 mark in the course book. Got it? So now we'll move on to our new unit, that is Romeo and Juliet. Okay. Dear students, you all know Shakespeare. So everybody, those who are in the field of education, those who are in the process of studies, education, they all know who is William Shakespeare and why he is, for what he is famous for, how he earned that name and fame in ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ವಿಲಿಯಂ ಶೇಕ್ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್. So he is the second highest bestseller in the world literature today. As we had read, Khalil Gibran is the third one, and William Shakespeare is the second highest, read poet or writer in English in the world. So keep that in mind. So to speak about William Shakespeare here, he was born, means the birth of William Shakespeare in the year 1564, is 1564, and here in Stratford upon Avon, in Stratford upon Avon, a village where he born, Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. And he is an English poet and a very famous playwright. So, poet and playwright, not a novelist, because many students write that he is a novelist. No. And some students write that taking by some of the plays of Shakespeare and say that novel, it is a novel, whereas it is not novel that has been written by Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, but plays and sonnets and some longer poems, dramatic poems, you can say. So this is the achievement of William Shakespeare in the field of English literature. Okay. As a playwright and a poet, he was widely read or regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's preeminent dramatist. The world's preeminent dramatist, he called. And not only that, he is often called, even today, he is called England's national poet. National poet of England. Imagine, national poet of England. And also he had the title Bard of Avon. Is a title Bard of Avon. Yes, national poet of England and Bard of Avon, since he is from the village called Stratford upon Avon. And then his plays have been translated into every major living languages of the world and in the world, and major works, means almost all the plays of William Shakespeare are performed more often than those of any other playwright in the history of English literature as such. So that is his name, that is a speciality that we see with the plays of William Shakespeare. Okay, and my dear students, I don't go deeper into the achievements and the biography of William Shakespeare here, because we no need all those things, as we are students of language, not an optional or students of literature or optional English as such, because we have that kind of terms and conditions in writing the answers, because we have a very competitive writing of exams in PU level here, because we have to follow the time, we have to follow the limit of words, and we have to follow the guidelines, the complete guidelines by PU board as such. So that is why we need not go deeper into Shakespeare and his life and his complete works. Yes, I just to give you a brief information about his works. See, Shakespeare totally he has written 30 works of Shakespeare, you can see. Yes. So it is plays. How many? Totally he had written 37. 37 plays. Imagine there are playwrights who have written more than 100 plays, but they are nowhere in the history of English literature. But Shakespeare has written only 37 plays in his lifetime and achieved much more name, fame, and is there in every reader's heart and soul till today, and he is celebrated as the poet. Not only a national poet of England, we can call him as an international poet, international playwright of the world, isn't it? And his 37 plays are divided like, say, 10 tragedies, yes, then 10 histories, and then another 17 are comedies, and tragicomedies. So we have grouped the plays, the 37 plays of William Shakespeare according to the themes here. Got it? According to the themes of the plays that were written by William Shakespeare here. See, 10 tragedies deals with an ending of a very dissatisfaction, unhappiness, okay, as such, pain, sorrows, gloominess, lamentations, everything like that. And out of that, Romeo and Juliet is also one of the finest tragedy of William Shakespeare. So, the original form of Romeo and Juliet is drama, play. It is in the form of play. But we don't have play in our second PU English. The Board of Study of Karnataka PU Board has decided, has selected 2 verses a part of two dialogues of Romeo and Juliet in the play Romeo and Juliet were selected and prescribed for our study, and they have titled it as Romeo and Juliet. So here we have a one verse, a dramatic monologue we can call is from Romeo, and one more we can call them as soliloquies. Soliloquy is the singular one, and soliloquies is the plural one. Okay, I'll come to that when we begin the poem. Then, so out of 10 tragedies here, Romeo and Juliet, this play stands first in tragedies. Okay, so there we have heard about Macbeth, King Lear, okay, Othello, isn't it? All Julius Caesar, all these are the famous tragedies of William Shakespeare. And dear students, next we have 10 histories, 10 plays which have the theme of history, means Shakespeare had written the history of England, Britain, history of Italy, history of Spain, history of Greeks as such, and history of the kings and queens who ruled Britain. So in the name of Richard, okay, as such, so there are 10 histories, 10 plays which deals with the theme of histories, and then it is the comedies and tragicomedies, they put together as 17 plays deals with comedy and tragicomedy. Okay, so these are the plays or the works of plays of William Shakespeare. And next one, it is the sonnets. William Shakespeare has written 154 sonnets. Isn't it? The number of sonnets that were written by William Shakespeare is 154. And these sonnets, the speciality of these sonnets is that they don't have titles. Okay, they don't have titles, they are numbered, and we the readers, with the suggestion of some critics, some English experts, so the literary figures, scholars, they advised us to make the first line of each sonnet as the title, caption, heading of the sonnet as such. So, sonnet 10, sonnet 15, 157, like that. So, they are numbered. This Shakespearean way of writing sonneteering came to being from the inclusion of Shakespeare's sonnets here. Then we can call them as, see, Surrey and Watt were the founders of sonnet writing. And then Petrarch comes, Petrarchal style of sonneteering. When Shakespeare started writing, it is Shakespeare sonnets. So it is, the form is 3 quatrains followed by a couplet. See, 4 lines, and 4 lines, then 2 lines. 3 quatrains followed by a couplet where he gives us the complete theme or solution for these 12 lines in the sonnet. So this is the sonnet of Shakespeare. Okay, then The sonnets are addressed to, first part of the sonnets are addressed to one of his friend who is called as Mr. W.H. friend, and we don't know what is W.H. here. And we don't know whether it is William Henry or Henry Williams. No, we don't know, because he is the King of England, and nowhere Shakespeare has told us or written anywhere in his works or in any of his writings that W.H. stands for William Henry. No. So we are not bothered about WH, because nobody has found out, still today found out what is WHO and the lang form of WH as such. So we are not bothered also, but we can say that he is his friend. Yes, he is his friend. Okay, then what happens? And then rest of the sonnets, yes, who is it? Rest of the sonnets are addressed to a dark lady. Who is this? We don't know. Dark lady, the beautiful lady whom he loved most. People say, the critics say, the experts of Shakespeare studies says that he had a very true love, much love on this lady as such. But today we can't, or nowhere we have any hint about this dark lady. So sonnets are addressed here. Then next one, here third literature, type of literature that William Shakespeare has dealt with, the poems, the longest narrative dramatic poems. Two poems, Venus and Adonis, first one, and Adonis is one poem, and then second poem is the rape of Lucrece. Lucrece is the second poem. So the two narrative long poems. Yes. Now, so these are the two famous poems of William Shakespeare, and which are very much famous in their form and content here. And next we have some letters of William Shakespeare here. So that is his total achievement or the works of William Shakespeare in English literature. And at present we have this extract or two verses from the play, the classical play called Romeo and Juliet, where the author or the board of study, PU board, has selected one verse or dialogue of Romeo, a soliloquy of Romeo, which contains 10 lines here, and it is from Act 1st, Scene 5th. And the second dialogue, second verse or soliloquy of Juliet, So it is from act third scene second, and it is also a dramatic monologue where these speeches, dialogues were uttered alone in the play. Okay? And these two soliloquies, these two part of the verses or dialogues in the play are taken for our study, and they kept the same title as Romeo and Juliet in 2nd PU English text. Got it? Yes. So I'm going to rub all these things. Keep this in mind. Okay. Now, students, take down these points because these points are not there in your text. So if you want them, you have to read other literary books of William Shakespeare to find that information. So it is for our knowledge, because every one of us have to know the things which are more competitive in any subject for that matter. It's not only a language or any other core subject. Such every subject is very important here. So, what is that? Romeo and Juliet. See, the allotment of marks to this poem. So we can call this as a poem. Okay. Yes. Poem is the allotment of marks. This is important for me because see, you have to have the awareness about the distribution of marks for each and every unit that you study here. Since the competition is more here, since everybody study to gain something, to achieve their bright future in this juncture, so they are very much, cautious about this, that you should get the competitive information about each and every unit that you read in almost all the subject here. Yes. So that is why if you have this awareness of distribution of marks for each unit, so it will tell you, it will train you to how to read, how much time to spend on each unit, and what is the area of study that I have to take on those units, and how much focus and scope it has. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So here we have 1 mark question, 1, then 4 mark. So you may get for 5 marks total. 5. Or sometimes the syllabus, everything is modified, reduced this year, and maybe there may be a slight change in the pattern of question paper. Yes. So it is otherwise 1 mark question, 1 plus 1, 6 mark question. So here 6 plus 1, 7 marks. So they may ask for 7 marks also. So 7 or 5. So you may get this. And half mark or a quarter of a mark is very important, dear students. You don't neglect and think that, hey, after all 1 mark, hey, after all half a mark. No, every mark is important. Okay. See, if you score out in all 4 core subjects, PCMB, and this English marks, if you get above 95, above what? See, 97 and 98, he will be the topper. He will be achieving one position in toppers list of the state, whole state here. Okay, if you score 98 in English. So, if you score or 97, 98 as such. If you score less than that or less than 96, I don't think any student who has scored, see for example 95 ಬಂದಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ and 400 ಬಂದಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ PCMB ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, and even then there is a chance of missing a topper's position of the state in the list. Okay, so think of this logical thing. Think logically. Okay, think yourself. Don't listen whatever the Professor is telling is the final. Whatever he is telling is 100% right. No. So for you it may be different, or for you may feel that little more things you may add. This is what he says right, but you have to work in that way. Because why I am saying this is, you can't score 100 out of 100 in English language, whereas you can score in Kannada, Hindi and Sanskrit. But till today in the history of English language, we never saw a student scoring 100 out of 100 here. Yes, got it. So keep this in mind here. Why? Because I don't know why what students have there in mind about English. So it is a simple language, an idiotic language. Even an uneducated, illiterate person can read and write, speak and write as such easily, and we can within very less time we can learn to speak, write and speak, write and read. So such is the language here. So keep this logic and distribution of marks to this particular thing. Then coming to Romeo and Juliet here. What did? As you know that it is a tragedy, and you all know that both Romeo and Juliet dies in the end of the play, but we are not reading it as a play here. We are not bothered with the whole, the content of the play here. The question is not based on the whole theme of the play here. It will be only on the extracts or the verses or the soliloquies that we have in our textbook. So these are called as soliloquies and plural. This is plural. Okay, and singular is what? Soliloquy anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು. This is a what? Singular. Yes, singular. Plural and singular. This, keep on this. And these are also called as dramatic monologues. Why? What is mono? One, single, isn't it? Log, it's the speech. Yes. And dramatic, acting with actions. Isn't it? So they are alone when they utter, when they speak these prescribed verses, dialogues in this poem. Okay, two soliloquies. And here Romeo's soliloquy has 10 lines, and he describes the beauty of Juliet for the first time. He sees on the dance floor of the Lord in the party, grand supper party hosted by Lord Capulet in his palace kingdom. Yes. And then here Juliet's Juliet's soliloquy has 9 lines. And here she immortalizes Romeo. What? Immortalizes Romeo, and she is eagerly waiting for her Romeo. For Romeo. Her lover. So, this is the thing that we find with Romeo and Juliet here. And now I think we are very much clear here. See, we have only 10 plus 9 lines for our study, where we can score 7 or 5 marks out of this lines, and they are very interesting because it is an attractive and the subject where it was loved by the people of the world. Romeo and Juliet andre saku idee prapanchada janaru romanchitakkolagagtare. They feel immense interest, pleasure about this play when they hear the name title of this play as such, isn't it? And I am going to wind up the class as for today. Students, remember, so where did I stop? Okay, and then what things that I can add more to the introduction class of today. Okay, I'll just think of it. Okay, Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare, and the introduction part is completed. Okay, thank you, and all. Have a nice day.